everyone, Lorraine is here and back with you guys with Marvel's Cloak and Dagger, our stars and showrunner. Hi guys, how you doing?
So good.
You just came off the signing. What was it like being in the thick of the Comic-Con with everyone screaming at you guys?
It's definitely weird for me. Like Joe and Jeff were telling me, like when I first got the role, they were like, it's not really gonna feel real until Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. And you know, the fact that I'm finally here, it feels great. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely a surreal feeling. And this is the first time I feel like we've actually been in a room full of people who are fans of the show, and we can actually, you know, have that face-to-face interaction with them. Because for so long, for like 8 weeks and more now, we've been just interacting with them through social media.
That's so awesome. Now, congrats are in order. Season 2 was announced last night.
Yay.
Can you tease us anything about what is to come or what's in store?
I think in general, the training wheels are off.
Ooh, yeah.
And these two are going to kind of just turn it up a notch and see what they can do.
Well, and speaking of what you guys can do, you know, you guys seem to be starting to channel, Tandy and Tyrone are channeling their powers in a new way. They're kind of figuring out how to manifest them better and better. How do you each feel your character connects into that? How do they find their powers inside?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, honestly. I feel like, you know, with the whole hopey touchy thing and with him, the fear touchy thing, I think, you know, that definitely enhances what's happening in the situation of them having the powers. And then I think it's the more that they use them, it just enhances from there, you know. We've seen on the rig, now Tandy can throw daggers, and his teleportation has been like way more intense, and so I think, you know, as each episode progresses, so do our powers.
And your basketball abilities.
Yeah, I think they were there.
Yeah, they were there. No. Very good. As you mentioned, you know, for a long time you guys were talking before the show came out. Now it's out. How do you guys feel like Tandy and Tyrone have each evolved since episode 1?
I think for Ty, you know, he growing up and played by the young Maceo, who's a legend. But obviously, when you see Ty as a young kid, he's brave, he's fearless. But you know, after he literally sees his brother get killed, he kind of becomes afraid of a lot of things in society and a lot of things in the world. But I feel like we're finally seeing him open up and, you know, say, I'm gonna do what I have to do, and I'm gonna, you know, make sure that my brother didn't die for nothing. So it's just great to see him find his power, because, you know, he's such a powerful kid and he doesn't even know it. So
yeah, honestly, I mean, going off of that, I think it's the same thing for Tandy. You know, all she wants is justice for her dad and her family, and I think, you know, for so long she's been holding it in and has become this very cynical, manipulative human being. And I think for her right now, towards the end of this first season, now that she's sort of gotten to know a little bit more and has understood a little deeper what her past is and the baggage that she has, I think things are now like even more conflicting than they were. Or, you know, maybe season 2 it'll be not conflicting anymore.
Look to Joe, please.
Season 2 will not be all sunshine and roses for our poor little Tandy and Tyrone, but I think that's kind of why I love the characters, particularly as played by these two. We knock them down and they get up and get stronger, and it'll be fun to do that again and just see different ways that they both lift each other up.
Well, and the show does such a great job of dealing with really real issues, existing in a very real world with real problems. Was it important to you to be able to explore those different themes and sort of societal issues?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as an artist, you hope you can do something like that, and that's one of the reasons I was drawn to Cloak and Dagger, the original 80s comic book. It dealt with the war on drugs. It dealt with homelessness. So it was kind of interesting to update it and kind of cast real teenagers to kind of show the struggle that I don't quite understand, but a lot of people are going through.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very, very touching to watch. For you guys, you are dealing with a lot of sort of heavy subject matter. Do you like to try to keep it light on set, or do you have a process to stay in the drama backstage?
Yes and no. I think.
Or are you just sending each other emojis? Because that's what we talked about last time we chatted.
You know what we would do at first? We definitely played a lot of iMessage 8-Ball on set, definitely.
Oh,
I remember those
we
times,
played the iMessage games a lot. But I think, there was definitely a massive like mutual respect between the other, between us, the other actors and the crew. A lot of our scenes are very emotional. So in order to be in that headspace, I think there needs to be, that sort of space between each other. And so there were some days where Aubrey and I were on complete opposite sides of the set, just to be able to, give each other that time in order to get into that headspace. And then there were other days where we were playing 8-ball over iMessage or just being silly and goofy. And I think you need those days. I think you need the boundaries, but also I think it's important to everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation is a good way to be.
Yeah.
You also get to explore some really interesting relationships with parents. And in the sort of different dynamics. Were there different storylines from Marvel or just sort of different dynamics you want to explore, and what were they exactly?
Well, I mean, I think it's really interesting on the Tyrone side, the mother-son relationship when she's already lost a son. And we get Gloria Rubin to play the mom.
Who's amazing.
She does an amazing job as being somebody who is not going to let this happen again. So she kind of builds this gilded cage for her son. And then on the Tandy side, you see both sides. I heard once that, like, the hardest time in a woman's life is when she's 16 and when her daughter's 16. And we kind of get to see both sides of that with Tandy and her mom, and Andrea Roth, what she does. These guys just crush these scenes together, and you want to cry. So I think it's, Marvel moms, ever since Aunt May, have been very important. So I feel like this is a great tradition of them.
Yeah, I love that so much. Especially shout out to Aunt May, one of the best moms. Now for you guys, we've gotten to see 8 episodes now. We're almost to the season finale. It's heating up. What have been some of your favorite scenes that people have gotten a chance to see, have been your favorite to shoot on set?
And there's so many. It's hard to choose from. I feel like, towards the end of this season, Aubrey and I finally have a lot of scenes together, and those are always really fun, but also obviously very emotional and physical. I think a lot of the stunts that we've gotten to do have been really fun and exciting, and we've actually gotten to do a lot of our own stunts, which has been nice because I feel like you actually get to experience like what that feeling is like. And I remember before I learned to throw the daggers, I worked with a magician for like 3 hours to throw cards into a hat, because in one of the previous episodes, that's what Tandy does, and how it basically is indicating her throwing the daggers. So that was really fun for me. I got to sort of experience what that was like, and then watching it, after post, and everything was like perfectly intact and aligned, and everything was just pretty cool. And fun.
I think just one of my favorite scenes to shoot was in episode 7 when Tandy throws the dagger at Monsieur Flambe. That was one of the most craziest moments of our entire season, I think. And I think like our fans were going crazy over that moment too. So definitely one of my favorites.
I love that so much. Well, I'm also excited to see you guys go over and do the Cloak and Dagger activation.
Yeah, we're really excited.
I feel like that's the moment that has to happen at Comic-Con. I've walked by, but they haven't let me in yet. I'm going to go push my way in later.
You have to come with us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Done. And don't miss Marvel's Cloak and Dagger Thursdays on Freeform.